Hey guys, I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources, and I wanted to jump on here today to talk to you about what I have in writing. We have an ultimate writing bundle that has everything that you need for your writing instruction. This will help transform your reluctant writers into rock star writers. Students get excited, they get on that right path, it builds their confidence, and it also builds your confidence because it has everything that you need to teach writing. This is great for teachers, homeschool, everyone, because it has everything included that you need for writing, including scripted lesson plans, which is perfect for those new teachers or homeschool parents who really don't have a great feel on what they're doing. This program took me years and years and years to develop, and we tried it out in many, many classes, and we have thousands of teachers around the world using it today. So that is why I wanted to come on here and share with you what we have to offer. So who am I? I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources, like I said before, and I was a teacher for 26 years. I had students who struggled with writing. So I wanted to find something to really help them and motivate them. They used to whine and complain and not want to do our writing lessons. And then they got so excited once I developed this program. So I knew I hit the jackpot. I have my master's degree and national board certification. And I also coach writing. So I have all of that under my belt, and I'm also here to help you. The most important thing is I'm super passionate about writing. And if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll see me singing along and saying writing is my jam because I get so excited to help teachers and students with their writing. So why Rockstar Writers? It has definitely been proven to improve students' writing, and they get super motivated. And you develop lifelong learners when students are able to write effectively. Think about like the high school students who they get all the way through to high school and they can't write a college essay exam. I've been there, I've worked with those students, and I know that they struggle. So that is one of the reasons why this program was developed. I'm going to show you everything that we have to offer in writing. Hey guys, I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources, and I wanted to talk to you about my step-by-step writing program. It is perfect for rockstar writers. Today, I'm going to focus on the printable version of the step-by-step writing. First of all, the pacing guide that comes with the program shows you exactly what to do throughout the whole school year. It takes you from brainstorming ideas to sentence structure, paragraph writing, narrative writing, opinion writing, and informative writing. And as you can see, it has every little lesson along the way. There are 20-some lessons, including in each of the essay writing. So as you can see, there are a lot of mini lessons to get you through. It is developed in a step-by-step fashion, perfect for scaffolding lessons so that you're building upon each lesson to get to the final copy. So what else do we have in there? First of all, we have scripted lesson plans. That way, there's no second guessing for those new teachers or homeschool parents. It tells you exactly what you should say with each mini lesson. With the anchor charts, I'm going to show you just a few of them because there's so many of them. There's 80-some lessons altogether in all 5 units, but I'd like to share some things with you. If you notice in the top corner, it says step 1. So each one of the essay lesson plans comes in the writing process so that you can see the process of the writing building and forming into this ultimate essay final copy. We have pre-writing, then you go into rough draft, then we have revising, which I call dare to revise. We have cups for editing. Then we go to peer reflection, which is a great way for students to share and get more ideas. And then your final copy. Well, there's not just 6 lessons. Within each one of those steps, you're going to find several lessons. Like I said, there's 20-some lessons in each essay writing. And that way you can see them develop this story. Okay. I wanted to share a few more anchor charts just so that you can see what is included. This one's from narrative writing. And we start off with some elements of narrative writing. We have graphic organizers so that they know how to put things together. Here's one on character traits, one on crafting a plot. Then there's some things you could put on your bulletin board. This goes along with our $1 million words and the revising stage, adding some words. This is also in revising, Rockin' Beginnings. And I wanted to share with you also that not only do I have the anchor charts, but there are examples to go along with it so that you can see that. Our $1 million words, I came up with this great little acronym, FAVE, so that they can remember all the different things they should put in their writing. And as you can see, I also gave examples. I wanted to throw in, oops, maybe I didn't, oh, here's one on transition words. Oh, here it is. Here's one on transition words. Now, I wanted to throw in just one of them from the opinion and informative writing so that you can see also each writing has different things. Of course, you're not going to have story elements in opinion writing and informative writing. So this one has like sources so that you can show students how to put their sources within their writing. So like I said, each essay writing comes with different lessons. It still follows the writing process, but you have all the lessons that you need to develop those stories. Also, I have mentor text. This one is just listing mentor text. It's called the Suggested Mentor Text List. And it talks about all the different skills and what books are good for you. Also, I include them for different grade levels. So if you are using the program like in 3, 4, and 5, you can see that there's a list for 3rd, a list for 4th, a list for 5th, so that you're not sharing the same books. However, I also have original mentor text that is right inside the program. So if you don't have these books on your shelf, you can use that, or you can use both. Either one, as long as you're showing students what it looks like in the writing, that is what the mentor text is used for. Also, I do not want to leave you hanging. Every one of the essay writing has modeling for all of the skills. Everything that you're going to do, you will have what you need to show your students, so that you're not coming up with these ideas and trying to create things on your own. I did not leave you hanging. For example, this one is a graphic organizer that is adding the body. If you can see, we've already had the introduction there, and we talked about the body, and this is modeling the body and putting it together in the graphic organizer. I'm going to back up a little bit because this one was on introduction. So this is the model and showing the different charts, the things that they're brainstorming and thinking about. And this is our story that we're building together and how I put it together for you. Another example is in the revising stage. This is the D, delete unnecessary information. And I go ahead and throw something in there so that you and your students can find it to see, okay, that really doesn't belong. And then the students will know what to look for in their stories and what they should be deleting. And then we have Dare to Revise, Add. This is when we are adding details and also adding transition words. So as you can see, I have the essay written out, but we are adding things throughout the story. So the students can see it changing right before their eyes, and they can say, oh, well, I need to make some changes in mine too. And then of course I have models of final copies. This one's from informative writing, and we go through and we talk about the headings and the picture captions and all of those types of things as well, so that they can put together an effective informative writing essay. Next, I want to share with you, that was all the modeling. Next, I want to share with you in the printable version, we have the interactive writing notebooks. And whether your students can cut and paste or not, this is okay. A lot of teachers say to me, well, you know, I love your program, but you know, some of my kids can't cut and paste. And that is why I have differentiated versions, whether they can take notes or not. The very first differentiated version has all of the notes on it for them, like this one. They still cut and paste, but it has all of the notes on it for them, and they just put it together. They're not having to do anything themselves, okay? Then the next version is a fill in the blank, where they're taking some of the notes, where they're just filling in the blank using the anchor chart that you have up, and they're filling in the blank for their notes. The third version is them taking all of the notes themselves. So you have the interactive pages, but they're taking all the notes themselves. And then for those kids who are absent or really struggle with cutting and pasting, I included little mini anchor charts of exactly what I showed you before, but they're little mini anchor charts where you can just put them directly in the notebook. Or you could staple them. If you don't want to do cut and paste, you could just keep them stapled or on little rings, whatever. But having this resource is so important. And I tell teachers, don't skip over this step. This step is so important for them because they will have this resource to go back. Say you did narrative writing at the beginning of the year and you're reviewing it at the end of the year, or you're having them write a story throughout the year. They can get out their notebook and see how to put it together. So this is absolutely important. When you have the notebook put together, of course, I've included the cover pages and all your tabs, and then they have everything together. They have their ideas, they have their sentence structure, they have their paragraph writing, they have their narrative writing, they have their opinion writing. Oh, that's the cups part. Yes, there's a whole section on cups. They have their opinion writing. Whoop! Sorry about that. They have their opinion writing, and they have their informative writing. Now, some teachers prefer to put their rough drafts at the very end and have it their own tab. So I included a tab for that as well. Other teachers like to put it right within their notebooks. So it's whatever your preference is. Next, I have tons of lists. I am big on lists. First of all, it helps the students. If it's the first time you're teaching that type of writing, they need modeling, they need the mentor text, and they need help along the way. So help along the way is providing some lists for them, whether you're providing character trait lists or words and phrases for opinion writing in their instruction, whether it's Rockin' Beginnings like I showed before, that gives you a list of things that they could use for the Rockin' Beginnings. But I'm very big on lists. So every step of the way, if there is an opportunity to have some list, you will have that for you. Practice, of course, practice. If you notice, I'm going through an explicit teaching routine, and I am very big on that because if you know me, my motto is to motivate, educate, and differentiate. And the whole process of this writing bundle is to go through step by step and scaffold through. And with that is explicit teaching. So you have your anchor charts, your mentor text, your modeling, and your practice, and all of that is all part of the learning process. And yes, I have practice. Wherever there are opportunities to practice a skill, you will have worksheets, you will have task cards, whatever you need to help you and your students. Next, at the very end of each essay writing, I also include tons of prompts. I have prompts for you. In opinion and informative writing, I have passage prompts so that the students can read a passage and then write their opinion or an informative writing about it. And along with that, I have a weekly writing schedule or guide for them. And I don't suggest to use this right away because you want to go through all of those skills first. This is for when you are having them write on their own. You've already taught everything about narrative writing. Now you're going to give it to them on their own. And this is also in the pacing guide. And then we have forms, forms, and forms. Of course, we have everything that we need. Okay, so we have like reflection forms, we have rubrics, we have checklists in all different sizes. This is a Post-it one, if you like to use Post-its, which I'm a big fan of, but I have all different sizes. We want to track their progress. We have writing goals, so many forms in there so that you have everything that you need. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. Besides, we got some resources that they can use, spelling dictionaries. We got student resources, little thesauruses, whatever they need to help in your writing center, in groups, or reteaching, or just to give one to every student. So I think that is it. Other than that, I do have a setup file so that you know how to set everything up. I have videos for that as well. And I'm also accessible. So we have a Facebook group. You can email me, whatever it is to help you be successful, because that's truly why I am here, to help you be successful and your students be happily writing. So that is my step-by-step writing program to transform reluctant writers into rock star writers. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey guys, I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources, and I wanted to talk to you today about the digital writing resource that I have. It goes along with our Rockstar Writers step-by-step writing program that we have in Printable, but we also have it digital for PowerPoint and for Google. I'm going to display my screen so that you can see what it looks like, but I wanted to tell you that it has everything that you possibly need. There are pacing guides, there's scripted lesson plans, anchor charts, mentor text, modeling. It goes through the writing process. There are note-taking, digital note-taking. There's also self-check slides so that students can do some more practice. There's practice slides as well for them to fill in the blank or slide things together. There's many interactive ways to use the digital resource. This is one example of just some note-taking with dialogue. And on the side, you will see the directions of what students need to do, and they need to slide those words in the right place. So I'm going to jump onto my screen and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to start by sharing the very first unit. We have 5 units: sentence structure, paragraph writing, narrative writing, opinion writing, and informative writing. And I want to share with you what it looks like digitally. This comes in both Google and PowerPoint. Sentence structure number 1. The reason why they are numbered is because I offer different things. So number 1 is going to be your learning and practice and note-taking. So you're going to have some practice, you're going to have anchor charts, note-taking, and then sentence structure number 2 is going to be a self-check slide, which I'll show you in just a second. All right, so with the sentence structure number 1, here is one of the anchor charts. It gives you examples, some more examples. You have some note-taking. You might have some dragging and dropping. You might have some writing inside. You might have to highlight. So it's a good idea to teach your students how to do those things. We use highlighting, drag and drop, sentence boxes, and crossing things off. Here's one example of the practice within sentence structure number 1. And you have all of your directions off to the side. So I make sure that the students look off to the side for their direction and examples. Here are some more practice, and a graphic organizer. And then it gets into the next lesson. So for sentence structure number 2, it's called the self-check. And as you notice, it says, please put into presentation mode. So you would want to put it in presentation mode, press start, and here are your 3 lessons that you saw in sentence structure number 1. You have your 3 lessons here. You click on the one that you're working on. Oops, that's wrong. It takes you back. You choose the right one, and it takes you on to the next question. That is how the self-check goes, and you can go back to the beginning so that you can choose which lesson that you're working on, or you can use this as a review at the end. Then you have your quiz, which is automatic grading, which is awesome. You get to, the students click on the right answer, and the teacher gets the results when they are finished. This goes along with all of those lessons as well. Then we move on to paragraph writing, and it is set up the same way. We have paragraph writing number 1. Here's some directions to show students what to do. Make sure that they slide over for the directions. And we go through, here we have all of the lessons, what they know to expect. We even have a checklist, and you can go through the lessons and talk to the students along the way. Show them that they're going to be taking some notes on that anchor chart. Then you start with a topic sentence. Here's your anchor chart. Here is an example. Here's some note taking so that they can remember what they did. They can go back to the anchor chart to help them along the way, but this just really instills that skill with them. Then we have some practice for topic sentences, highlighting and filling in the blank. So with relevant details, that goes on to your next skill. Here we have the paragraph writing for self-check. You notice that you have all of those skills that we just talked about in this one as well, so that you have all the practice that they have. They just click on the right answer. If it's correct, it goes on to the next one. If it's incorrect, it goes back, and then they can practice the next skill when you're ready for it or use it as a review. With paragraph writing, we do have one more. It's called paragraph writing number 3, and it's applying what you know. There's directions for the students on how to do it, but basically you have your prompt at the top, then you have your hamburger model. And it gives you ideas what to do with the topic sentence. Why don't you try using a sound word like onomatopoeia? Relevant details, it says, you know, go ahead and create those 3 main steps for making popcorn. Use some time order words, closing sentences, and then over here they're going to draft the rough draft. There's a box ready for them. And then you have these little check marks where you could drag down into the checklist to make sure that they have done all of those different things within their rough draft. Then you move on to the next page and you copy and paste that revised draft into your blue box, read it over again, add a title, make any changes, and then come over to the right side and do a self-score, and it tells you how to do it over here. Then if the teacher wants to use a different color than the students, they can do that as well. So there's several different prompts, and if you want to change the prompts, you most certainly can. Up here you can see how you can change it to whatever you would like it to be changed to. So that is an extra with the paragraph writing to give them some extra practice. And then you have your paragraph writing quiz that has those same basic skills that we talked about. And this is automatic grading so that the students will go ahead and take the test and you will automatically have that grade. Now, we're going to go over one of the essay writings. We'll go over the narrative writing, but keep in mind we have opinion writing and informative writing as well. And within those, you have several mini lessons. If you take a look at the table of contents, this is my copy, so I got this blue stuff going on over here, but in the regular copy, I have all that blanked out. Anyway, we have N1, N2, N3, N4. So it shows you all the different lessons. We go all the way up to N26. So that means there are 26 lessons within the narrative writing. Now there is a pacing guide that comes along with this and there are instructions for the teacher. Since these are all the student versions, there is instructions for the teacher, there's scripted lesson plans, there's answer keys, ideas on what to do, all of that is there for you, as well as some extra checklists and that kind of thing. But if we go through, we see that there's all these lessons, and the blue talks about step 1, so that's all the lessons under pre-writing. This is the writing process. Step 2 is the rough draft. Step 3 is dare to revise, and you see all the lessons that go along with that. Step 4, cups to edit. You have all of those lessons. Step 5, peer reflection. Step 6, final copy. And then there are some things for after the instruction that's also in there for the students and you. So let's take a look.
So we have an anchor chart, we have some note taking, we have an original mentor text to show them where those narrative elements are. Then we go into step number 1, and within this step, you have note taking where you're dragging, you're clicking inside. So you want to make sure that the students know how to click in the text boxes, drag things, highlight things, cross off things. Then we have the graphic organizer just to show them what it looks like. And then we get into the modeling. This is modeling the pre-writing stage of brainstorming. And then the students apply. So you see up here in modeling, I'll go back. This one says this is the model. So you're doing this with them. All of your teaching strategies are right here. You're building a story with them, and then they're building their own with apply. Then we get into some other skills, task and purpose and audience. And then you get to this little slide that says, hey, see narrative writing 2 for self-check practice. Not all 26 lessons have self-check practice, but if there is something that we want to do self-check practice with, you will see that in your slide, the narrative writing number 2. Okay, so here are the things that are included, and you go through the same way if you're going to present it. You read, you decide what the author's purpose is. That is correct. Describe an amusement park. Oops, that's not right. Am I debating it? No, that's not right. I'm describing it. And then it goes on to the next one. And so it tells you within your narrative writing number 1 where there is extra skills, extra practice in the self-check. So then you go through, you can see all the different things that you have here. I'm going to scroll through, and there's some more mentor text for you, and you come across, the application part. So here is applying your story elements and your setting, and then you come to the graphic organizer, which I'm modeling a story for you, and then the students are applying their introduction as well. So it builds upon itself. You go through the body. I'm just going to keep scrolling. We got some character traits. We got some graphic organizers where you apply that information, your mentor text. You see that there's also a self-check. And moving right along, we got dialogue, some practice, conclusion. And then you see that the modeling is all put together in a graphic organizer. This is the story that you're building with the students, and then they are applying their own. As you notice, it says to copy and paste the introduction and body before adding your conclusion, so you have it all together. Then moving on to the rough draft, they make some writing goals, and then they have their rough draft. And here's the model of the rough draft of your story that you're building with them. And then here is their story where they apply. Then step 3 is dare to revise, where we're going to delete, add, rearrange, and exchange. And you have all those different things for narrative writing. We also have the dare to revise for opinion and informative. It might be a little bit different with the different types of writing. But I'm just going to keep scrolling through so that you can see all the different things that are being offered within narrative writing. We talk about million-dollar words, all these things. All right. When you get to the next step, which we're getting close to, jamming conclusions, crafting a title. Here we go. So then we get to CUPS. CUPS stands for capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. This is step 4 of the writing process. As you can see, there are anchor charts, we have note-taking, there are examples, there's also practice for the students so that they have all the practice that they need to understand each of them: capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. Then, to go along with that, we have the self-check practice. The self-check practice is just like the other practice in narrative writing, except it is in a separate format. That way, if you want to use it with each of the types of writing, you will have that as well. So you see that there are tons of charts with all of those rules, whether it's capitalization rules, usage rules, punctuation rules, spelling rules. You have all of those rules to teach the students so that they can apply that in their writing. Next, there is an assessment. This assessment is located at the end of this unit, or they could do it through the Google quiz, which would give you the automatic grading. All right, let's get to the end. We got peer reflection and final copy, and then students are writing their final copy. At the end, we have a rubric, some tracking, reflections, and also weekly writing. Once you've taught narrative writing, then you can have students do some on their own, and this is a guide for them as well as some prompts to go with it. In opinion and informative, you will find some passage prompts as well so that they can read something and respond to it. So I hope this has been good for you. Oh, narrative writing also has a quiz. And the same goes for opinion writing and informative writing. You will have your number 1, which is your learning, your note-taking, and your application. You have your number 2, which is your self-check, and then you have your quiz to grade what they have learned. I hope this has helped you figure out the digital learning part of our writing program. And like I said, there are videos to help you. There is a read first file to tell you how to set it up. And I'm always here if you have any questions.
Hey guys, I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources, and I wanted to talk to you today about our student writing videos. Our student writing videos go along with our step-by-step writing program. You have sentence structure, paragraph writing, narrative writing, opinion writing, and informative writing. So if you're familiar with our writing program, there's 80-some lessons, mini lessons, to use within those units. The videos do the instruction for you. So if you have a student that's absent, if you're doing distance learning, if you're a homeschool parent, these are all perfect for you. Or if you just need a break in the classroom and you want to pop on a video for the instruction, that is what you can do with these videos. And like I said, it goes through the whole writing process within each of those units. Here's an example. This is within the narrative writing, and it is about plot.
Welcome all my rock star writers. This lesson is on crafting a plot. Now, I know we talked about this in narrative elements, but I wanted to take some more time to go through the plot, the roller coaster of your story. That way you'll be all set and know how to develop your own plot. Let's take a look.
So as you can notice, it's my voice, but you have all the interactive parts showing you what to do.
Why would you do that at the very beginning of your story? Well, it sets the plot so that you can start to develop the characters, the setting, and the problem. Next, this is where you are developing your characters and events. How do your characters change? How do your events build up and get exciting? This leads us to rising action.
So that's just a quick little example. Let me get this paused. That just gives you an example so that you can hear me teaching the lesson for you. That way you have that foundation so that you can go on with your practice and your application of the lesson. So that is what the student videos are for. They go along with whether you're doing the digital form of the writing program or the printable form of the writing program. These videos are for both formats. So that's our student writing videos.